taught you to hate the texture of your hair? Who taught you to hate the color of your skin to such extent that you bleach to get like the white man? Who taught you to hate the shape of your nose and the shape of your lips? Who taught you to hate yourself from the top of your head to the soles of your feet?
I love people as I meet them one by one. People are just wonderful as individuals. You see the whole...
My great aspiration, my greatest ambition is to be so good. Now, in that way, I'm tiresome, as I suppose, to live with, because I want to be a fantastic human being.
I am the greatest. We're not disputing that, Cassius, but how does Sonny Liston feel about it? He can't feel but one way, and let's take everything I say and like it. Because February the 25th, I'm going to take back my job. I'm the champ. He's no champ. He's a tramp.
When you see men fall, don't laugh. Learn. Learn. Because you're on your way up. And the things that tempt people to fall, you and I are not free from that temptation.
Yo, what's up? Peace and blessings, man. Happy Monday. I hope all is well with each and every single one of you. Yeah, I got me a fresh pair. I had to throw them on. Special occasion. I'm celebrating. I feel good. And I want to share that good spirit with the people. I appreciate y'all for being here. This is going to be a pretty good discussion. I don't know if this is something that gets brought up a lot. I think it's perfect to start the week off. I see Rob in the building. I'm waiting on Sydney and my boy to pull up. Shout out to Skywalker, Rob, of course. My poets, my writers, my content creators. Let me bring this up on the screen. If you've got topics, questions, concerns, things that you would like to see us talk about up here, hit me up. Let me get this out the way real quick. I'm going to bring Rob up. I want you to introduce yourself to the people. Just my way of giving you your flowers to start this week off. You've been in the cut doing your thing. I've seen you doing streams, you know what I'm saying, reposting and whatnot. The video I got, it's 24 minutes. I'm not going to play all of it, but I'm going to play enough of it. I'm just trying to give everybody a chance to tap in. But what's going on, man?
What up, family?
What's the word?
Man, I'm loving them glasses, though.
Appreciate it.
Stay styling on them.
I try to keep me a pair too, you know. That jersey looking nice though. I ain't gonna hold you.
Appreciate you. My man Von Miller, I think he's 36, still cracking heads, you know.
Respectfully. All right. I see 6 Rings just pulled up. Let me go ahead and bring him in. We just waiting on Sydney. And yeah, go ahead, do your matter of fact, let me bring him up real quick. go ahead and do your intro and whatnot, and I'll pass it to him after you grace us with your presence this evening.
Okay, for those who don't know, my name is Robert Harris. I'm an elementary school counselor by day. By night, I'm a rapper and a hair salesman. I sell natural 1B, body wave, straight and deep wave bundles. I deliver them to, it's called the Rolling Weed Store, because I deliver them to you if you're in the Leon County, Gaston County, Florida area. As far as music, I make hardcore conscious music, I say it like that, or hardcore nerd music. I'm really a nerd, but I'm from the hood, so it's always going to be a hardcore element in my music. But if you want to check me out, I'm on Spotify, International Rob, Spotify, Tidal, Apple, Deezer, Amazon, iHeartRadio, Pandora, you name it, SoundCloud, Reverb Nation. And I'm here, ready to ride.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Putting in work. Sensational. My man, on everything. That's how it gotta be. That's how it gotta be. You gotta have your foot on that neck at all times.
All times. No letting up. 6 rings.
Salute, man. How y'all doing?
Good, man.
Good, you?
Hey, I'm doing good for a Monday. I know that. Doing real good, man. The work day over with. It's time to go back to work.
Right. This that work for us now, though.
Oh yeah.
Hey, I think maybe a good solid 3 to 4 minutes of this is sufficient enough. My man spazzed. He spazzed, and like this is an older video. This came out like 3 weeks ago. I never covered it though, but the message in it is what brought me to the question in the title. So I'm gonna pull it up on the screen. I think Sydney might be tied up right now, so I'm gonna just send my thoughts and prayers to her and the fam. If she pulls up, I'll bring her up to the screen, you know what I'm saying? But I'm sure she's with us in the spirit. So this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna bring this up. I'm gonna let it play for a few minutes. I'm gonna stop it. And we'll just go from there. And look, we don't need a specific order for this. It's open forum. Y'all already know we called you up here. We don't cut each other off. We don't operate like a lot of these other platforms, you know what I'm saying? So yeah. Oh, there she is. She in the building. That's what's up. So now everybody get a chance to catch this in its entirety. Matter of fact, I had spoken to her earlier and she was excited for this conversation. So glad she could make it. Real quick before I even bring it up, man. What are your initial thoughts? It ain't gotta be very long because I know we're gonna get to it here in a second, but what's like your initial thoughts on the average man, woman working the 40-hour week shift? Just you spend your life from the time you old enough to go out here.
Hey, you breaking up a little bit. Your vocals is breaking up a little bit.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it is.
All right. How am I now? Am I good?
Perfect.
All right. My question is, how do y'all feel about this thing where from the beginning of time we just wake up, go to work, come home, wake up, go to work, come home. 40 hours, some doing more than that. Like, how do you feel about that overall? Has that ever crossed your mind before?
It's ghetto. Nah, like I always think about like even if we was in the village before the TVs and this and that, everybody would have to work. Even the clown had to be funny. If the clown wasn't funny, the village clown, they'd cut his head off. You know what I'm saying? So, I believe the adage, the man don't work, you don't eat. But as far as like working for other people or working and struggling, working, being check to check, nah, we don't need to do that no more.
Six Rings, how you feel? Talk to me.
Yeah, man, I'm coming in. You say the 40-hour work week. The average person that does that. The only issue I really got on that is a lot of times the 40-hour work week only can be a slave to yourself if you're not uh, working and trying to be your own boss. So that's my initial thoughts because a lot of people get caught up in a you know rat hole, like be a lab rat, and if you ain't got nothing going on for yourself, it can get stressful. 40 hours.
So my initial thoughts. Even going back to the biblical days, work. I think we have to differentiate working because you have to contribute to society in some type of way versus working under the thumb of someone who has other motives for your existence. Cindy, we didn't get to the video yet.
Okay. Hello. Sorry, I had to help my husband get my son ready for his class, so his shoes were missing, so it took a bit. I like the glasses.
It's all good. That's all love. Yeah, just preliminary question. Before I bring this up on the screen, the 40-hour work week. How do you feel about it in its entire time? I'm tongue twisted. In its entirety, has it ever
breaking up again?
Yeah, somebody told me I need to look into another mic. I'm gonna end up doing that at some point. I don't know if it's the way that I got it set up over here. But my question was, how do you feel about the 40-hour work week? Is it something that you've considered before? Does it really bother you? Not to go too far into it yet, but just your initial thoughts on the subject in general.
I never felt that the 40-hour week was conducive to a positive work experience at all. I know that it's based on factory era or something. Like there's a reason why it's 40 days. I think they made it so like the parents' work schedules kind of like coincided with when the kids were in school, but I don't exactly remember. Anyway, I don't think that it's, as I said, conducive to a happy worker. I think that it is one of the ways that people are getting burnt out. It's not the only way, but it is a contributing factor to people's sense of meaninglessness, people's sense of like there's no point to life. I'm just kind of stuck. I'm a hamster in a wheel type of deal. So I think the 40-hour week is a big problem. Granted, I don't know what the best choice is because personally, I think that people should all be like creatives slash. I mean, essentially, basically, people should be creatives unless they're doing some sort of like professional type helpful job. That one, like if you're doing a passion project, the hours feel different. So it doesn't like, it's not like you're going to grind for 8 hours every single day. You're going to have bursts of it. So it's more natural, more sustainable. And as I said, like you're going to enjoy it more because it's your passion. So yeah, that's all to say that I don't think 40-hour weeks are natural. I don't think they're sustainable. And I don't think they are like, I don't think they're making people happy.
I respect that. And with that being said, I got a 24-minute clip. I'm not playing 24 minutes of it, so y'all good.
Please don't do that.
I'm not. I am going to give you at least 3 to 4 minutes of it, and then I'm gonna stop it. Cause my man, he snapped. It's almost like he just had enough. And I chuckled a little bit because he's calm at some point, but then he kind of crashes out in between his rant. But here we go.
Those are the best kind of rants.
Yes, I do love rants. Oh, let me see something. I want to mess around with this real quick. Let me see if I still got that. Boom. All right. Let's do that. All right, let me play this.
Car insurance is something that you pay for because you have to for some reason. When you become an adult and you attempt to live in society, every single aspect of being alive costs between $100 and $1,000 to $2,000. Every single thing.
Thanks.
And the older that you get, the more things keep being added. So you work like a dog all month so that you can afford every single hand that's sticking out in your face saying, you have to pay this because otherwise you won't have car insurance because you need car insurance to drive. If you're thinking at this point, well, you don't have to have car insurance. If you want to drive a car, then you have to get insurance because that's your decision. No, it isn't. No, it's not my decision because I live in a city that is car dependent. I live in a country that is car dependent. So don't be fucking cute and say that I should take the Los Angeles Metro. Spare me. Got a call this morning from AAA law enforcement. Or fucking goddamn it. From AAA. I don't even know what it. From AAA car insurance. AAA car insurance. And they said, Mr. Henschel, there's a problem. One other thing about being an adult is that you have something called a cell phone. On your cell phone, you get about 100 calls a week that are complete gibberish nonsense from a basement in Malaysia. You get 100 phone calls a week from random series of numbers. If you answer the phone call, you will hear complete silence. You also get one phone call a week that if you don't pick it up, it will ruin your life.
Right. And anytime you get those type of phone calls, it's never somebody giving you money. It's always you owe somebody or somebody calling to collect, yada, yada, yada. It's never just somebody going, oh, let's just give you some money. You already know it's always going to be something negative anytime you get one of them unexpected calls. Part of the worst part about this whole ordeal is the money that you're going to make is usually more predictable than the bills that are just going to happen in your life. And it seems like every time you're getting to the point where you're a little bit ahead, there's always something that's going to drag you back down to where you was. And it's really because everything has become a subscription model. Even when you want to buy something, the buy now, pay later is just another way for something to become a subscription model. Uber Eats and DoorDash now has buy now, pay later. People are literally doing subscriptions for a burrito bowl. The World Economic Forum said by 2030, you'll own nothing and you'll be happy. And I can see it go in that direction because with these subscription models, you don't really own anything. You're just kind of borrowing it and paying to use it monthly. And that's how they start you on the hamster wheel. Now life has become a subscription.
So somewhere in there is an extremely important phone call The same thing happens with your mail.
Yeah.
Every week, you get 1,000 fucking pieces of trash and one very, very important letter that if you don't answer, you go to jail.
Yeah.
This morning, I got one of those phone calls in the magic grab bag, and I picked it up. It was AAA. And they said, Mr. Henschel, unfortunately, it seems that there was a lapse in your coverage because you switched your driver's license. You had a Maryland driver's license, and then you got a California driver's license. And you need to give us your California driver's license information now. Otherwise, you don't get to have car insurance. And if you drive your car, you can go to jail. So I said, okay. Keep in mind also, the thing that really bothers me about all these people, car insurance, credit card, landlords, fucking everybody, the utility company, the water company, they all speak to you as though you are voluntarily doing this, as though they are doing you a favor. Yeah. I don't want to pay for any of this shit. I don't want to do any of this. I didn't ask to do any of this at all. I didn't ask for it. I didn't even have to be fucking alive. I don't want to do this. I don't want to pay my car insurance. I don't want car insurance. I don't want to give you my new driver's license. I don't want to fucking do that, but I have to for some fucking reason, because for some fucking reason, in order to be alive, you have to pay 20 different people $200. And you have to keep...
I'll stop it there.
I really could have watched that 40-minute clip.
Right.
Bro, my man, he mad. And I don't care who you are. You've been that person before.
Family Guy needs to steal that clip.
For real. Who wants to go first? Shit.
Like I said, man, working is ghetto, man. Like, this is the biggest robbery in the world, man. I work every day to see how I could start working for myself, because I don't mind working. It's just, we work to pay taxes. The federal government gets the most of our money. Then we got to pay tax on our food. We got to pay tax on this, tax on that, tax on everything. And none of this stuff is going back to our neighborhoods. I don't see what they're doing, especially right now with this White House. I don't know what they got going on, but I don't think, nobody should. Like I said, if this was a village, you would have to go hunt or fish. But I think that would probably be more exciting than having to go clock in and be dependent in order to, because even if you buy your house, you still got to pay taxes on that. So technically, what do you own? You don't own nothing. You know what I'm saying? And so working, 40 hours a week. Plus, I don't think your job probably be done way before 40 hours, depending on what you do. Unless you got customers coming in all day or whatever. You could do your job in 30 hours, less.
Six, what you get from it? I mean, what I heard and what you probably heard is probably completely different. What I heard was y'all got us on this hamster wheel, and really, you don't really give a shit about anybody. What it's really supposed to be about is us just being decent human beings and actually contributing to society, to maintaining electricity, water, the systems that we use every single day for our households, et cetera, et cetera. Like you said, you don't work, you don't eat. But what they've turned it into is we're gonna make you keep us in a position where we don't have to do what you're doing. That's what it feels like to me, at least.
I thought it was hilarious and 100% relatable, especially from the perspective of the overwhelm of everything. Like, I lost it when he said, like, you go to the mail and you just get like 1,000 pieces of paper, like it's all trash. I'm like, I feel the same way, because every time I go to the mail, I always have that like tiny little glimmer of hope back from when I was a kid, that like maybe I got something interesting in the mail, maybe somebody sent me something, and I get there and it's just like car warranty advertisement for a place I don't even go to, advertisements for a shoe store that I don't even go to, like mail from my old neighbors that I've returned to senders 40 times and they still send me mail. Like it. And then the other one, I always remember this title because it's so true, but the struggle to unsubscribe. Like the fact that even your email now is just like Dollar Shave Club. Did you go to this store? Like Amazon and eBay and like Temu and the freaking the Boo doll. Like it's just like your email is now just like hundreds and hundreds of links of garbage as well that you don't want. And it's just everywhere. It's so easy to accumulate garbage in every sense, whether it's informational garbage or physical garbage in your house or digital garbage in your email. And so I definitely resonated with what he said there. And I also resonated with his, like, you owe like 10 people like $200 each. And that's 100% how it feels now. Like with the way bills are, I'm like, you want $170 for a TV channel, or like you want $700 for car insurance? Are you effing kidding me? Like $1,600 for like maintenance on a car. It's wild. I don't understand how people are affording to make a living. I just watched a video this morning about somebody talking about how to make it on an income of about 12,000, and like half the stuff she's saying, she's like, you might have to go without something. Like you might have to not go to the movies and not pay for Netflix and not pay for all of those extra things. Like you can't have all those subscriptions. Like you literally have to put everything you have into your bills and everything. And I think they only had like $100 left over to spend on frivolous purchases. And it's like that. It really feels like that, where it's just a pile on, where everybody wants money from you. And it's this never ending cycle. I feel that 100% with my husband. Like we have a stable income and we have our housing taken care of. So it's not like we're not strapped for cash, but still like every month it feels like it's another bill that we're just a tiny bit short on. So then we have to pull out of our savings yet again. Like it's just endless. So I definitely feel that. And I personally feel very lucky that I don't have to be in the 40-hour wheel. So I feel bad for people that are like stuck in it, because that's literally all they can do. Like the people that have to work at Walmart and live out of their cars because that's all they have. But yeah.
Yeah, all I was gonna say on it is I was definitely hearing that guy when he said you get paid, you gotta kick out all this money and all that. I get that. All the bills come in at once and it's coming rapidly to you. But you get all these calls that everybody asking you for something, but don't nobody want to give you nothing. Welcome to America. That's the part that resonated with me. I'm like, dang, you everybody got their hand out once you get this 40-hour job and all that, and you got to pay this and pay that, always dishing out money. But you know who gonna help you? I got the answer for that. You gonna help you. That's how you get the extra you. Because without you, hey, nobody gonna get paid, right? So you what I like to think about is when you're dishing out all this money, or you got a high cable bill, or your car note smash you on your head, and all of that. If all that's happening to you, think about you, because at the end of the day, you the one that got to get up 7, 6:30, whatever in the morning, and bust 10 to 12 hours out, however long it takes you to get it, to go pay these people. So if you on that type of income and it's just you, especially if it's just you, then you're gonna be you need to start investing in yourself. And I think what he's going through in that video, he didn't do a lot of investing in himself. So he feels like all his bills and stuff is going to these people, and he's working for free. And if you're working for free, then you destined for failure. You can quit your job now, and hey, at least you can get some rest, right?
You breaking up, bro?
They want to stop working.
You're in a weird spot.
Supposed to be, even though that's the goal, you got to pick a day when it's gonna be a day.
Rings, you breaking up. Rings is breaking up. You gotta repeat what you said.
Yeah. Oh, he froze.
Repeat what you said, bro. We couldn't hear you.
Coming in.
Yeah, you good now. Oh, you freezing up again.
Coming in.
I hear your audio.
Hold on. Am I coming in?
Now you are. Repeat what you said, bro.
I'm coming in. Okay. Yeah. Well, I was saying was the goal should be, if you're working to, like, if you dishing out all this money and all these bills is on your head and all that, and it seem a little frustrating, like the guy in the video. The goal should always be to eventually work to stop working one day, and kind of invest in yourself. And the frustration come from the average working person is because they doing all this work, like y'all say, on the hamster wheel, for somebody that's getting more money and living on yachts and stuff off your back, and you're not doing that for yourself. So if you don't invest in yourself, then ain't nothing to complain about. Keep paying your bills.
I want to piggyback off that real quick. To be honest, everybody is not going to live up to their fullest potential. I mean, in a perfect world, everybody would be exactly what they want to be in life. That doesn't really happen a lot. Some people go to the grave right when they are right there. Some people get their life cut way shorter. It's a combination of reasons why that happens. And I want to say that there's nothing wrong with being a regular 9 to 5 type of a person, if that's what you comfortable with. The issue comes in for me when these these conglomerates and these companies are intentionally creating bills. They're creating projects. They're creating mail, unnecessary phone calls, spam bots. They are creating distractions. They're creating markets. They're creating OnlyFans. They're creating all of this, all of these means to get you to spend money, so that you're always in a space where you have no choice but to work and work and work and work and work. If you are trying to get into if you're trying to get into doing something that you love doing and you waited a little too long to do it, and now you're in a space where you can only give but an hour here, an hour there to it, because the majority of your time has to go into clocking in and out, that's got to be disheartening. I made a post. I was like, I refuse to be a slave to the 9 to 5. And what I was referring to is pretty much everything that he said and what everybody said here. That mail that comes in is like 20, 30 pieces of mail. Most of it is junk. IRS, car insurance, medical stuff. It's things that require you to cough out money. Nobody's offering it though. You don't hear nobody offering it. So I got to get up and pay this $600-700 for that car note, that car insurance. You get into one accident, you screwed for 5-6 years, and they raised the price on it. Like they've devised a system where you can't win. I think that's specifically here in the United States, because I've heard stories and seen videos where Americans leave the United States and go to different countries to live, and they have it way easier. They don't have, the food is healthier. It doesn't cost as much. The apartments, the places that they dwell in, you get more room for your buck. Everything is just more convenient. Here, they made it to where if you mess up, you got to pay. If you separate from your spouse and she decides to take you for child support, you got to pay. If she lied about paternity, they don't hold them accountable. You still got to pay. Get in an accident, you got to pay. Speeding tickets, traffic tickets, parking tickets. You can't even park in your own neighborhood.
Also, the parking fees of going to almost anywhere now. Like if you go into cities now, you have to pay, like, I've seen as much as $15 to $30 for a day of parking.
That's pretty accurate. You can't go downtown. Here in the city, there is no parking. You're going to a garage. Anywhere from $13 to about $26 for a day. That's how they got it set up. If you want to park outside on the street, meter, and you better not be a second late, because let me tell you, the meter maids, they live to give out tickets.
And they love towing.
I got told. I got told. So trust me, I understand. I was at work. I looked out the window. I lie to you not. I looked out the window where my car was parked. It was gone. I'm like, oh, they got me. $200. $200. But they so polite to you when you're on the phone with them trying to make arrangements to get your stuff back. They all nice. I'm not in a good mood. I'm not happy. You think I just got $200 to give y'all? But they don't care because it's designed to keep you poor or to keep you broke.
And you nowadays you can get in trouble for not paying any of these. You're going to get in trouble with your credit card company, with your car company, with your insurance company, with your home, with your water company, with your electricity company, your gas company. Like nowadays, there are going to be people that literally come after you for your money for something that for thousands of years, millions of years has been literally free. Like you can go outside and drink from a creek. And now they're like, yeah, we're going to actually charge you like $150 to $300 a month just to drink water, just to get like gasoline in your home, when it used to be like you could go out and cut a tree and heat your house and get your food. And like, sure, it's a disadvantage because a lot of these like health problems back when water treatment wasn't a thing and back when people had smoke in their house all the time, but it was free. Like people could live their lives. People could go out and do what they wanted. Like people could start a business if they wanted to. They didn't have to fill out 6 months of paperwork just to be able to sell like t-shirts online. Like they put so many barriers in the way where they're like, you have to even pay to get paid. You have to pay to even pay to look at a car. Like they find so many ways to charge you for things. I'm surprised they haven't charged us to breathe yet. Like we oxygen fee every month from the government or something. Like, and then of course there's taxes too. So after you pay through the nose for existing, then they're going to charge you even more for existing in this country. And so now you're paying thousands of dollars. And then if you don't save thousands of more dollars, then you're going to have to get in trouble because then you owe the money. Yay! And we don't even get it back in healthcare now. So, and then of course the public schools are falling apart, and all those public services that we're supposed to get, we don't even get. So we're spending all this money for nothing. It's so fun. This is why this guy's my spirit animal. I felt every word of what he said.
Right. I'd be like, who is FICO, man? Like, who is FICO? That's the biggest. Listen, man, the federal government is the biggest gang in the world. And they're showing it right now. Like, we just did the communist thing where he flexed the weapons, man. They have never done. I haven't seen that. Only thing I heard of that was in the Cold War or whatever, when they flexed in Cuba and China. But this dude just flexed the tanks and all that. And one of them tanks will be $1 billion. But it's homeless people all over, all this open land. One of them jets be $8 billion. They won't even pay the teachers, man. So every day I'm working to get free, man. And you're right, because I got a friend. He said, we talk about opening a business. And he's like, bro, right now, that would be the worst thing too, because owning your business, you're going to work 100 hours a week and you still might not make ends meet. And we argue all the time because in my head, I'm like, oh, I'll be free doing what I want. And he's like, nah, bro, like his dad owned a Dairy Queen. And he was like, he never seen him. You know what I'm saying? He never seen him. And even now, his dad is working like 80, 90 hours a week, 100 hours a week. Oh, and he said, my dad's always frustrated. And you wonder why, because he's grinding. So that be killing my hopes, because it's like, all right, well, if I start a hair store or whatever, or do whatever, the businesses that I want to do, I ain't going to never be home. I ain't going to never have peace. And then to be doing all of that and still be struggling, because they're definitely making it going back to where you can't, it ain't no pull up your bootstraps and you could get it out the trunk and all this no more. Even to be considered a store, you have to have at least $150,000 worth of inventory. So that whole setup is still there to where you got to borrow money and you got to pay interest on the money you borrow. I'm looking at the artists, the rappers and all that, they working 80, 90 hours, 100, probably why they on a lot of the drugs they on, just to be able to feel normal, because you're working to pay back in advance, which is the code for a loan. And I tell my students all the time, like, yo, things change when you borrow people's money. You ain't friends no more. They be like, oh, it's gang or whatever, years for life. Till you sign that dotted line, you got to pay that money back. So it's like everything is a catch-22. And then with the, like you said, Sydney, the emotional stress of what people going through to because at the end of the day, you just working to work. You really just working. You gotta go to work. If you don't have no money, because once you get a certain amount of money, then you can live off the interest and it'll make money for you. But at this point, for most people, that's just living, you know, above the poverty line, even whatever they call middle class, they struggling too. And it shows, because you see the guy was crashing out right there. And then you see, if you look at most of your social media, it's a bunch of angry people. I go through Facebook every day. I see 20 people mad. You know what I'm saying? And the good thing again is that I was outside before all of that, so I could I don't really post I used to at first. I got a little into it, posting my emotional state online, but you realize people don't care, man. You either, like you said, Rings, you either working or you not.
I wanted to add something that you said made me think of this. A little while ago, just out of curiosity, I had looked up how long or how much money you need to make, or like to have, to make $1,000 off of stocks, and you have to have at least $600,000 invested into the market in companies that give back dividends to be able to make $1,000 a month. So basically, you've already had to have invested the price of a house into the stock market to even get a minimum wage amount of money back. Also, I wanted to mention another thing that is happening to people is, because of the cost of everything, people getting priced out of everything, people are also getting, like, the homelessness crisis is getting way worse because of this. Like, now we have people that not only can't afford to live, but they literally have no place to go, because they're either going to go onto the streets where it's illegal, they're going to live in their cars where it's illegal, they're going to live in a storage unit where it's illegal, they're going to live with somebody else illegally. Like, there's so many different ways that they can get you just for being poor, like, where you can literally be arrested for it. And now, in the beautiful new bill that they passed, they've made it illegal to be homeless, and they've made it so you can now actually be prosecuted and arrested for being homeless, or for, I think, being disabled too, for having like a mental problem. So now you're going to be in even more trouble, especially if you can't afford to make a living. Not to mention all the funneling of money they're doing to rich people instead of poor people. So there's that too, that wealth divide that is going to further drive a wedge between us and our ability to have a decent living. They really, really are trying to make us own nothing and be happy. This is 100% what they're trying to do.
Six, you was about to say something.
Yeah, man. All I was gonna say was just when you got it all figured out, you know, then they change the rules on you. So that seems like what this is. Like, they can raise the economy and your rent and all of this stuff, but step this pay up, keep us going with the times. And I think that's what
your man feel and he got tripped up with bills and all that because he don't feel like, you know, he's getting treated equally as the time is passing. You know what I'm saying? Everything has increased. It was a time period where gas was smashing everybody's head in, and people wanted to ride their bike. I just ride my bike to work. I can't do it. 6, 7 a gallon, I can't do it. That's too much. And little things like that, you know, make a change here, make a change there. With the economy, you know, they know people like to look good. They might raise the money on your clothes that you like to get. So it's either way, you can't really get around from all of this, no matter what you do. But what you can do is pick and choose what you get and be responsible, because the bright side of all this is there's a lot of irresponsible people out here. And if you don't have a functioning mind and handle your business, you're going to do something wrong. That's what crime and all that come in. So you're going to mess up, and then it's a place for you. So my thing is, you got to make the best situation out of what you got instead of complaining, because like you mentioned up top, Miss Sydney, you could be homeless, and it's a place for you for not paying your bills. And if you think you're going to not pay these people, you can get put out. That's the other consequence. So yeah, it's stuff got to change with the time, but in order to see the change, you got to keep up with the time. I'm gonna say that you got to keep up with the changes that they're making, and if you ain't doing that, you're gonna be asked out. So yeah, I see it getting better, but you got to take care of what you got to take care of in front of you, people. If you're gonna pay a lot of money, let's just say for a car, because people like to get nice vehicles and stuff like that, you might as well pay for what you want. Get the best vehicle that you want. You're going to pay the taxes on that vehicle. It's going to happen. Same thing with your house. You get to enjoy these things. This stuff ain't free. You got to go to work. You got to pay for it, but you get to enjoy 30 days in your house before you got to pay that rent again. Think about that. Your electricity, you ain't got to have that. You want to take a shower, don't you? You got to pay the water. So, I mean, it's certain things that you got to be appreciative about, man, that you ain't even have to have that. And if you lose these things that you paying for on a monthly basis, you're going to go to jail, you know, for what this new law say. So you got to pay to stay free. So I mean, yeah, we need to invest in ourselves, but we got to have a goal in mind. We got to have a passion for something outside of the hamster wheel that we know. But we have to use the hamster wheel to build on our own empire. You know what I'm saying? So that's where I'm at with it, man. You're gonna have to pay regardless. You might as well pay for what you like.
Hey, man, look, as a fellow citizen of these here United States, just knowing that they screwing us over in our face, it don't sit well with me. It don't sit well with me at all. And I can take ownership on my behalf because I was very financially illiterate growing up. You know what I'm saying? I didn't educate myself enough in areas where opportunities presented itself to me and I could actually invest in that, because I was too distracted with the worldly stuff. And if you're a person that wants to get out of the matrix, you're going to have to educate yourself. And you're going to have to be patient with yourself. And you're going to have to be consistent. And you're going to have to ignore everybody who tells you that I don't see no progress. So you're not really getting anywhere. You might as well.
You also have to invest in your future more than you invest in your present.
Yes. Meaning there are some indulgence. There are things that you are addicted to or you like that you don't really necessarily need. I like bacon.
Boo-boos.
Yeah, maybe I just need to lay off of that, right? Or maybe I need to stop drinking so much soda. I stopped smoking cigarettes. I know that saved me hella money because right now they probably $10, $15. So cutting back on certain habits, going
Even
out.
drinks, like people underestimate even like how much drinks add up. Like the cost of a coffee being like $8 to $12, and some people get it every single morning. People don't realize just how much money they're spending. If you buy a coffee every single morning, by the end of the year, that's over $3,000 that you spent just on coffee.
Shit, I remember when cigarettes was about $3 and something. So that was back in the day, but shoot, it went up.
Everything went up. Everything went up.
And
Look,
the stuff is cheaper now. Like it doesn't even last as long. So you're getting even less for your money because now instead of getting 150 Pringles, you're going to get 75 Pringles in a jar that looks like it was for 150 Pringles. But you're still paying for 150 Pringles.
yeah, the plan was let's maximize with minimum quantity. We spoke about this before. You give them less and keep the price the same or raise the price up. Hell of a ripoff. Hell of a ripoff. And it's just all across the board. So when you ask about this 40-hour a week thing being a scam, I think it is. I really do think it is. Here.
You know it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a ripoff because what happens is they're not paying the first responders like they supposed to. They're not paying the educators like they supposed to. They're not even. I've been talking with my wife. We always have this argument because like we'll go to a hotel and the room will be a little dirty. Well, not necessarily dirty. Maybe the floor. Or we'll go to certain spots and you'll see the floor. It'll be like some trash on the floor. And we always have this argument because she'll be like, yo, they need to do better. And I'm like, yo, if you paying me $15 an hour, I might miss a spot too. You know what I'm saying? I ain't finna lie to you. Like, for real, you can't expect, you expect people to, a cashier at McDonald's, you want to go in there and you want them to be nice, of course. But technically, they're not paying them enough to be not, you know what I'm saying? And when you get in there, it's like, yo, you got to control your attitude. Don't treat me like you signed up for this job. But at the same time, I feel they paying too because I'm working to come to work. Like it costs me more to come to work than it costs to stay home. But then if I stay home, I don't have nothing. So I feel you, Six Rings, with the appreciation because that's the same thing my wife say all the time. She's like, yo, you gotta have a growth mindset. You gotta have appreciation because it could be worse. Right? But the same thing at the same time, it's highway robbery what these people are able to get away with and how they've been doing. And you look at the schemes, like even having to pay to go to the doctor. You got to pay to go to the doctor. So the foods I'm eating make me sick, and then I got to pay. So the whole system is set for me to be, like you said, on a hamster wheel, to where even what you now, even getting a college degree don't mean nothing no more. You know what I'm saying? It don't even really, unless you like an engineer or a heart surgeon or something, ain't nobody really getting no money. Lawyers, a lot of the public defenders and all that, you wonder why they do a terrible job, because they're not getting paid. So I'm on a trip to where, like, they need to pay the important people more, the janitors, the lunch staff, the office staff. Like, people will look at a maintenance man or janitor and treat them bad and not realize that they the ones cleaning our boo-boo. Like, they clean piss and boo-boo all day, every day. Especially, you know what I'm saying? I work in the school, and people will look at them like, oh, they just a maintenance man. Woo. Like, yo, if it wasn't for them, you would be shot out. You know what I'm saying? If they wasn't unclogging them toilets, stacking it with they cleaning up vomit all day and all that, how are they not making? They should get more money than the teachers. I'm gonna tell you that straight up. You know what I'm saying? More money than the principal, because anybody that has to clean the bathroom, and people be nasty. You know what I'm saying? People be and some people be nasty on purpose because they miserable, so they just want to make everybody else miserable. But all of these people on the front lines, the nurses and all that, should be the ones that's really getting rich, versus the way things are now. That's my opinion.
I second that.
It was something that I wanted to respond to, or at least give a addition thought to. It was the teacher part. Teachers go through hell. Kids are disrespectful. Parents are not parents. Parents fight the teachers over the stubbornness and the rebelliousness of the kids. You're not paying them enough for that. You're trying to penalize homeless people for being homeless, like they asked to be homeless, so they're going to get in trouble for being homeless. I mean, like, it's too many things wrong about this that bothers me so much, and I don't know about the rest of the people. I ain't with it. I'm over it. And look, don't get it twisted. I'm grateful for every single paycheck, every single job that I've had. Very, very humble. Very, very humble. I take pride in using my hands to do something that makes other things look good. I clean toilets. I deal with the feminine bathroom boxes and all that. And yes, they are fucking disgusting. A lot. And you're grown ass women. These ain't kids. These are grown ass women. Trifling. You expect it in school, but you don't expect it with adults. I don't know. I don't know. It's
The best examples is if you ever look up tourism behavior, people that are Americans traveling to other locations, and just how badly they treat those locations. I have seen people graffiti historical sites. I have seen people literally just like leave their trash in natural spaces. I've seen people do so many egregious things to public property just because.
Six brought up a good question. I don't even know if it was a question. It was just a statement. Let's go ahead and go around real quick with this. I did a reaction video that ties into your statement. They went on strike in Philadelphia, and I don't know if you've seen that video that I did or if you've seen videos of it. They left Philly ride, bro. Philly looks like a fucking zombie apocalypse hit that shit. I mean, trash is up there. It's not like it's ground level. It's piled on. It's like you going to the landfill. It's that bad. And they still. I don't even know if they came to any type of conclusion over there yet. So I guess I'll ask it since you brought it up. Would a strike help? Do you think people would collectively go on strike? Knowing what we know after we just said everything we said here, after that man done poured his heart out, do you think that people would actually collectively go on strike?
If there's enough pain, people are going to take to the streets. I think we're kind of already getting there. But there's going to be mass. I mean, it does depend on the economy, because in certain economies, people are more likely to hold on to their jobs. But with how things are going, I can definitely foresee mass walk-offs where people are just like, I'm done. Especially with something like Amazon, UPS, like a lot of these places that they're way, way, way overworked, but vastly underpaid. I could see these places having mass protests, mass walkouts, as we're already seeing with Amazon. I just think people kind of have to hit their boiling point, where they don't really have an option. Like, they're against the wall, and this is really all they see left. And something to consider too is, unfortunately, especially given the state of our political system now, protest is almost the only thing we have left, like the public demonstrations. Because it's not just about the like, oh, we're walking out and not participating in work and in our numbers and whatever, but also just the disruption and the visual nature of it is really important to kind of show that we mean it. And that disruption to services is definitely a convincing factor to especially the like government systems who don't like traffic issues and stuff like that. But I think it's necessary. I don't think that we can accomplish anything without it. We just need enough people doing it so the statement is felt.
Yeah, man, I'm just gonna put this on the table. When it comes to the strike thing, it's definitely strength in numbers. Like, it's strength in numbers, but like you said up top, Miss Sydney, you need them numbers though. And sometimes when it comes down to the protest thing, everybody don't really know their value. That's the truth about it. You don't know what type of power you really got until you in one of them situations, like you touched on down there, Rob, man, about the front line and everything that they got to go through. They should be getting paid more and all of that. They should, because they don't even know their own value. If the cafeteria custodians, everybody know their own value, then they voice would be louder. It'd be more numbers. It would be more it would be more togetherness, man. And that's what you need when you're doing these type of things. Now, I said it before on here, I'm gonna say it again. I believe in self over title. You know what I'm saying? I don't think nobody's bigger, you know what I'm saying? Your title don't make you bigger than nobody. It's who you are. Yourself make you. You know what I'm saying? Makes your title bright. You make the title. Not the title don't make you. So the way I look at it, man, with the strike, you need those numbers. And yeah, they go through a lot of shit, man. Cleaning up behind people and all of that. And I will say this: if they really knew their value, for instance, if let's just say the custodians go on strike, they not cleaning the schools. Imagine if they just stopped doing their job. You think everybody couldn't function? The kids wouldn't function. The teachers couldn't function. The principal, the administrative staff, everybody in there would be disarray because it'd be a mess every damn way. And now it's like you don't appreciate no damn body until they gone. You see what I'm saying? Till you don't know what you got till it's gone. And that's where the appreciation will come in. Damn, we just stopped doing it. Man, maybe we should have appreciated them a little more. We should have gave them a little more money on that check or step they pay up because we need them. But you don't know what you got till it's gone. And that's how it go. You know, when it comes to these situations, everybody need to be compensated. Everybody need to be valued and everybody need to feel important. You know what I'm saying? So when it comes to the pay, it be people that don't deserve it. But I'm talking about the people that actually put the work in and they do deserve it. You know what I'm saying? Those who I'm talking about. So if we could get more people that understand their value and what they do on a job, day-to-day base, you can move whatever you want to move because without you, you know what I'm saying, it can't get done. They don't know what to do. But it takes people to understand what they're doing to make the change.
Hey, you're absolutely right. We got to look at the laws too, though, because like I'm coming out of Florida, and I guess it's a right to work state. I don't necessarily understand that concept enough to really talk about it, but at the same time, we can't strike, and in our contracts, us teachers in Gaston County, Florida, we cannot strike, and I think that impacts a whole lot of the way that we are being treated. DeSantis, the government just made it illegal pretty much to be homeless or where you could stay, this and that, da 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 da. So yeah, it's coming to a time to where y'all right, Sydney, you right. What I notice is that people don't move till they frustrated, and then when they get tired, then they do it. And then we got to look at these things economically and culturally, right? Because certain groups could do whatever they want, as shown on January 6th and a couple years ago, to where blue lives didn't even matter. But other cultures, other ethnic groups, they don't have the freedoms to do those things as shown. You know what I'm saying, in the everyday news and the everyday politics. So I'm thinking, yeah, it should be a strike, ideally. But then you got people that scared because they don't know. That's all they know. You got some people that like to work. There are a few people out there that enjoy working. I get it all the time. I'm talking to people that, oh, I love working because what would I do at home all day? I don't want to stay home. It's boring there. And then you got a lot of people that finally get off work and then they die because that was the thing that was keeping them alive. But as far as striking, yeah, I think there should be like a whole massive some kind of revolution in order to make the distribution of resources more equal so that people don't have to struggle. Especially in the state we in right now, you can have a convicted felon. You know what I'm saying? I didn't trust any other politicians anyway. I don't trust any of them. But at the end of the day, how they've come to this, it just makes me feel like, okay, we've gone backwards 100 years. You know, they said George Washington was telling lies. You know what I'm saying? He was a savage slave owner and all of this and all of that. And because we are unorganized, because we don't have the capital or the resources to be able to protest in a manner that does things to like change the laws and all of that, we at a disadvantage. And with the policies that they're initiating now, everything is going backwards. So yeah, there should be a whole protest, not only for the way the government is being handled, but the way the states are being run as well.
We also need legislation to prevent wealth from continually going up to the richest like 7 people in the world, because I think that's another part of the problem is they're literally setting up the system so we have to spend more money and they don't. So another part of the problem, another part of the solution besides taking to the street, is we have to make it very, very clear that we are done allowing them to take our money, to take our taxes, to ruin our systems, to outsource all of our jobs to other countries, and to do all of that damage that they're doing to even our political system ideologically as well. So that's another huge factor, because by having these billionaires present, owning their companies that the way that they do, making the type of money that they do, they have sway on other businesses below them and other businesses that rely on them. And so it essentially allows it kind of what's the word for it, where you kind of like move the finish line, kind of, where having these big companies have so much power allows these other companies to also take small steps to gaining more power and giving them more of an excuse to charge more and to give you fees and to make you do a membership. And like, it basically paves the way to allow all these other companies to do the same thing. So we need to stop it at the source and not allow these companies. Like, I really think that we need to have a wealth cap. Like, after a certain amount of money that you make, you're legally required to give it back as either taxes, as donations, as like into a foundation, or into, like, I personally think that all of the money that billionaires make should immediately go back to hospitals and schools. Or perhaps like where they live, it has to enrich the town that they live. But regardless of what they do, billionaires need to have a cap. They cannot make they can't make beyond a certain amount of money, because very clearly they're using that to take advantage of people. And I think there also needs to be I think it needs to be a graduated income amount, minimum wage type thing, where like minimum wage for this category of jobs, minimum wage for this category of jobs, and so on and so forth. That way, because I don't think a $15 across the board works, because a movie theater worker getting $15 an hour makes sense. A paramedic getting $15 an hour does not make sense. So I think we need to have more of a tiered system. That way people are still getting paid fairly, but they're also getting paid fairly for the work that they're actually doing, the skills that are required. Because we're also, in all of this, devaluing the people that have actually spent money to better themselves. Like, we're making it so college isn't worth anything, because now you can get the degree, but you're still getting $15 an hour, even though the other person who doesn't have a degree, never went to college, maybe even went to prison and like has this whole thing, they're still getting the same amount as somebody who has a master's degree. So it's really the system is not fair to anybody, educated or not. And there needs to be a way to even out the playing field. That way they can stop enriching themselves and we start enriching everyone that's actually working, and not the overlords that are whipping us.
Building all these fucking townhouses and apartments. Why are you building all of these places, and the homeless people still don't have nowhere to lay their head at? That don't make that. That's kind of oxymoronic. They still on the street, but you still sitting up here building all of these, and they're $1,500, $1,600. They're not even big spaces, and you're building them within cities. You're just cramming them into these neighborhoods. There's no parks. There's no front yards. Nothing.
And they're forced to get cars, because they usually put those suburbs like 20 minutes outside of the city. And so if you want to be able to go to school or go to work or go to the supermarket, you need to have a car, because unlike Europe, we don't have public transportation like that. Also, I wanted to throw in, banks also own a vast majority of the homes that are available in the United States. And that's another complication, because the bank owns it, and because the bank is almost the richest groups in this country, they basically get to control the prices of homes, which is another reason why, instead of being 40,000, 60,000 like they were 30 years ago, now houses are going to be $800, $1 million for a bedroom and a bathroom and a cheap little kitchen that's going to fall apart, and you're going to have to replace the dishwasher every 6 months. Like, it's set up so all the richest own all the resources, and the poor people, all of us, the 99%, we have to pay them everything that we own just to get access to a meager amount of it. Another example, and I'll end with that. There's one single company in this country that owns 40% of drinkable water, and they distribute water to most people in the US. So another example of how all of this power is in the hands of a few.
Yeah, the rich get richer, don't they? It seems like the rich get richer, man. And like you touched on up top, they the only ones that benefit from this shit. If you're an average worker, you're a slave. You're a slave according to these rules, because you're not gonna get ahead the way it's set up. So your best bet is separate yourself. It's gonna come down to that. You know, I mean, everybody can say they work hard and all that. I get it, but you're gonna have to figure out a way to separate yourself to get some of this fruit from your labor, because don't nobody need to be on that hamster wheel until they start walking slow. Now that's bad. You know, if you on that hamster wheel, you starting to slow up, and you ain't get it done, and you winding down. So I think people need to really look at that, give them a self-evaluation of where they at, and try to separate yourself from the pack. That's just what it is. And another thing, what you said, Miss Sydney, with the pay, that was on point, because it's people that don't have no experience that come into your field, and that money right there for them coming in the door. You spent what, close to 30 years, and you might get $1 or $2 more. That's bad. You at the last of your walk. And then by the time you retire or you step off, your position go up $10 or something. So I mean, we gotta put some respect on what people bring to the table, man, because people are valuable. People are valuable, man, to what they do with these jobs. So all I'm gonna say is, y'all take over, but yeah, we need, if you're going to be working in any field that you're doing, you know, don't put a seal on what I can do. Don't ever put a seal on what I can do. Let me keep climbing my ladder. Let me improve my life if I'm going to be in this position, because it seems like it don't seem like it is. They just give you a pinch so you can keep coming back, and that's slavery. That's wrong, bro.
Yeah, that's facts. That's facts, man. Nah, this gotta. I think about all of the movies, all European movies, like Braveheart, how they had the feudal system and everybody working for the king until they go and overthrow the king. Or all the kung fu movies. That's what, like, most of the kung fu movies was about, overthrowing the corrupt governments and all of that. And you know, we gotta be careful, because Stockholm syndrome is real. 99% of oppressed people if they get into the position of an oppressor, they begin to side and take on the oppressor's views, and they start feeling like, oh, those I made it, those people should be able to make it too, or why can't they make it, and what's wrong with them? Oh, I had to climb up the ladder, da 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 da, and we forget. And then we also got to remember too, when people start making big money, a lot of times they got to shut up. You can't be pro-black anymore. You can't protest anymore. You can't be pro-worker anymore. Once you get in the upper management, if you're not supporting the managers, even if you don't support them in your mind, if you ain't doing what they tell you, they're going to take whatever they gave you. And that's bad, because now a lot of times you forget to go back to where you came from and help the very people that helped you get there, because now you got to shut up because you're making a certain amount of money. And you see it with the celebrities all of the time. You see, I remember the lady told LeBron James to shut up and dribble. I remember when President Obama called the cops stupid for arresting the black professor who had to climb through his own window because he locked himself out of his house. When Obama called him stupid, he had to backtrack all of that and apologize. And then even when when Obama got elected, Oprah said this was the first time she felt good being black, and she lost half of her viewership. So she had to apologize for that. And then I remember when she came out with the OWN channel, and they had the master class and all of these positive uplift shows, to motivate people and make people feel good. That wasn't selling, so now she had to turn everything into Tyler Perry drama. Everything, what I'm saying, is everything they selling is mass hysteria, chaos, confusion, in order to keep their dollars rolling in. So, we gotta balance, like you said, Rings. We gotta balance. We gotta start saving, cause and that starts a lot of time. I'm like you, Deep. I remember when I graduated college the first time, my uncle used to say, hey, you 10 years behind. And I used to say, what's wrong? I ain't 10 years behind nothing. What are you talking about? He said, because we ain't got nothing. So it's going to take you 10 years to be able to set your foundation economically so that you could start living. And I used to think he was telling me like, yo, he's crazy. But he was right, especially not realizing that I should have started saving that very first day. So I encourage anyone that's working, especially young people, to begin saving now. I don't care if it's $1 a day, $1 a month, $50, $2 a month. Just put it away to somewhere where you can't see it, so that it could begin raising, because you don't want to work forever, and you definitely don't. I'm in Florida. And I look at like a lot of the old guys, they drive their first Corvette when they like 70. You know what I'm saying? When they retire, they finally able to afford their dream car, or they get their mobile home or the RV, and start traveling. And as I respect them, but it's like I don't want to be 80 years old and be able to afford something nice finally. And there's no disrespect to them, because they grind and you should be able to do what you want. But I don't think it should take that long. So I'm with you, Rings, to where people got to start being appreciated. And Sydney, I'm with you to where the laws have to be changed in order for the resources to be distributed. Because one thing I don't knock. Now, if you go become a brain surgeon, more power to you. You deserve that money. Like I don't, you know what I'm saying? If you're an aerospace engineer, or if you're doing something, if you're saving lives, if you're getting off that ambulance, and you got to deal with that, you should be the one making 6-7 figures. You know what I'm saying? You should not be having to worry about where your money come from. And you're right, because they say Rings, where it's not how much you make, it's how much you save. But I think, in order to save money, you got to be able to make some. So you can't, we got to also start practicing group economics, to where we begin to make sure that when we spend our money, it's going back to our community and uplifting our community. And I think for speaking for my culture, a lot of that was trained out of us. Working together was trained out of us from birth. Working, wanting to see each other prosper was trained out of us. That's why it's so much drama going on. But we got to break that mentality and get into actually helping each other and not being scared to see your neighbor win, not being scared to see your family win. Because even in the family dynamics, a lot of times they don't even want you to make it. And we got to break out of that, because you could there's ways to get out off the hamster wheel, but we got to do it together.
I was gonna say, you can definitely see that lack of community extremely strongly now, especially within, I'd say, the youngest generations and with families, with parents. I think isolation is a huge problem now compared to like the 1950s. And like even in the 1950s, like grandparents were usually more in the picture. People had nannies, people had neighbors helping. People were more likely to rely on their neighbors for things, for local shopkeepers to like know their customers and everything. Like there used to be a much stronger network of people, and people willing to not only work together but also help each other in times of need. And we've definitely lost that as a society now, and people are very much more like, in times of stress, I'm going to turn to just my family. Like I'm going to cut myself off from everyone. I'm not going to rely on anyone for anything. I'm not going to ask for help. I'm not going to, like, there's even now a really strong stigma against even taking handouts. Like people don't want free stuff. People don't want free food. People don't want to be on SNAP. People don't want to have, like they don't want to be on unemployment and whatnot. And I think that's another problem, because there's a lot of ways to get by. Like you're not going to have the luxuries, but there are ways that you can get by. There are like cheap phone services. You just can't have an iPhone. There are cheap internet services, but you have limited data. You can get free food, but it's not going to be the bougie stuff that you might want to get at Whole Foods or something. Like there are trade-offs that people are not willing to make as well. And I think that's another problem, is we've gotten so luxury accustomed and so entitled by our access to anything and everything at any moment's notice, getting it in 2 days, 1 day, like an hour if you even want. We've gotten out of the mindset of almost that like 1930s mindset of you make do or you do without. And we don't have that mentality anymore. People would much rather go into debt just to have than they are willing to go without. And I think we really have to also make an attitude adjustment if we want to better our lives, because we're going to have to realize that we're not in an era where we can have it all anymore. And we have to start turning to the things that really benefit us and actually help us, rather, because we are being enslaved by these rich people with debt, with us having to rely on credit cards to pay for food, to pay for utilities, to buy all of this kitschy crap that we don't even need. We're putting ourselves into debt to other people, and that is what slavery is. And to pull ourselves out of this 40-hour week so they don't have this power over us, we also have to start adjusting our priorities and our where we're sending our resources, because that is also how we vote. We vote with our dollars. So we have to show them that we are no longer willing to support all of these oligarchs. We're not willing to funnel our money into these, like, you're going to pay $1,000 a month for phone plan type things. Like, we have to show them with how we spend our money that we are no longer going to subscribe to this lifestyle.
It's all an illusion. Just my final thoughts on it. So you got this big screen in front of you, or maybe you got this little device here in front of you. You lay down, you can go to the bathroom, take a shower. Maybe you're in traffic, maybe you're on a job. And what do? You scroll, and you scroll, and you scroll. What do you see? Everyone's lifestyle, how they're living, how they're dressing, their entourage. And you're probably not going to want to admit this, but you tend to emulate what you see on that screen. Because in your head, that's the life that you're supposed to have. But you didn't do the things required to get the life that they're portraying to have, which could be also a lie. They're doing what you're doing, looking at the rich and famous do it, and they got you believing that you're doing something because you got some Jordans and you got some new Kobe's and this, that, and the third, but you still live in a dangerous neighborhood. You still buying things that you can't afford to buy. You're playing make believe. They are actually living it. But as long as you can pretend, I guess that's okay. And that's why most of us will never escape the matrix. What my man say in the movie when he was sitting at the table with Agent Smith, he was like, I know this isn't real steak, but because the way that the program is set, it doesn't really make a difference. Ignorance is bliss. He made a deal with Agent Smith. He said, "Look, man, I give you, uh, I give you my man, but you got to make sure that I'm somebody important. When you plug me back in, make sure I'm important. Make sure I have some type of social status." He would rather stay stuck under the illusion that he's something that he isn't than to live in reality and deal with the truth that's really in front of you. And that's why a lot of us are how we are now. And I don't know. Pretty much. Pretty much. Overall, I think the verdict is in. It's definitely a scam. Shout outs to you, Rob, Sydney, Six. Hell of a show. Hell of a back and forth. If y'all got anything y'all want to say before we close out, the floor is yours. I'll give you a solo real quick and then we'll head out. And shout outs to the people.
I won't read the whole thing, but I do have a piece of poetry that I thought would fit really well with this. This was an excerpt from a poem called Ling Chi, which means death by 1,000 cuts. I think about my kids, my spouse, my dog, my house. I can't carve out enough time for them all. Between bills and appointments and academic commitments, we sever our ties with loved ones in our lives. We cut off our ears to make peace with the noise, and we slice through the day without stopping for joy. At home, I'm not fun, but at work, I am under the gun. From my bosses, from my coworkers, from the people on the street, in our office, in our schools, and sometimes even at the pool. No matter where we are, the threat of violence is never far. But my hands need to stay busy riding the razor-thin tightrope of time and quality as I work for the work of once three. Cutting it close, my fingertips ache. Is it knobs for my job digging in, or is it the nubs I chew them to be? No wonder everything sucks these days. No time, no focus. We all have to work. Our bleeding red accounts hint to how close we cut it every week to pay, to eat, to sleep, for our lights, for our heat. We can't just take our own axes and go chop wood or snip wicks of candles from the fat of our steers. We can't just do what we want. We don't own anything. We are the cattle living in wood shanties they allow us to live in, walking across mud flats they maintain for us, consuming products they made for us to make us fat and sick. We chew our cud as they milk us, steal our children until we're done, then they usher us in masses to the chute, whisked to the butcher for our final use. We are not cut out for this life.
Hey man, I'm gonna tell you straight up, save your money because rainy day's coming. If you're young looking at this, start finding ways to save your money in a place where you can't see it, because a lot of times when you think you got it, you'll blow it. But save up as much as you can every single day. And that's my advice to anyone, especially people who work.
Yeah, I'm just gonna leave y'all with this. I'm definitely with the saving money part. If I knew life was gonna be this hard, I would have started saving in preschool. That's the only way you're gonna have a up on today's economy. You should have started saving when you was playing with toys and dolls. This is some real work out here, and it is gonna rain. It's gonna be tropical storms. It's gonna be big winds coming your way. No matter what job you got, no matter what you trying to accumulate, always put up something for yourself. Always invest in something for yourself. And shoot, you could have been helping out grandpa or pops or moms, you know what I'm saying, coming up. All of that would have counted. You need like, as a kid, you need like 5, 10 piggy banks to make it. So it's a crazy world out here, but I'm gonna say this also. This thing is a scam because you got to do it like that. This thing is a scam because you can spend all this time on a job, 9 to 5 job. You working hard for 40, 50 years to get a check, a pinch or whatever, and you get that job 40, 50 years, and you only get to enjoy 5 or 10 years if you're lucky. The math ain't mathing, people. You got to invest. You have to invest. And I'm gonna say this, and I'm done with it. The more you know, the less you owe, baby. I'm done.
Much love to everybody, man, who joined us for this discussion tonight. I hope y'all got something out of it. I would love to know what y'all think about this. Shout outs to Rob, Sydney, 6. We about to get up out of here. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your evening. Stay blessed, drive safe, and we will be spinning the block tomorrow. So make sure you join us live 7 p.m. Eastern, same time, same place. Y'all take it easy. Do me a solid before you go. We out.
Try to buy my 40 acres and a mule.
Right.
Need that.
Need that. That's facts.
Run me them stimulants.
Right. I'm waiting on mine. Hey, I've been waiting on mine ever since.
Yeah, run me them stimulants, man.
I need like 5 racks too. 2, 3 times.
There you go.